Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here too. Join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and twos, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny. Johnny, what are?
Hey now, where are we?
We're live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Go to SamTripoli.gold. Use the promo code TINFOIL and get precious metals for as little as $50 a month. Join the Wolf Pack. Guys, dangerous episode today. Dangerous episode. Very excited to have the one and the only Stu Peters on. And we try to start simple and we just throttle from the start.
Would you say it's one of the ones where, like, listen to this with headphones, not the speakers at the house?
Listen with headphones. Guys, listen to headphones and just understand these are the conversations we must have in order if we're going to have any clue about how our world works. And, you know, Stu it was a great conversation. We had a great time. Stu has an open door to come on anytime he wants. And we enjoyed it. And Stu has his I think him and I have a real understanding, and we just come at it from different ways. What would you say, Johnny?
I think you did land on areas of agreement eventually.
Yeah.
It did take some work to get there, though, and those are the best conversations.
Those are the conversations you can only have on Tinfoil Hat. Okay? This is what you come for. This is what you get. Yeah. End of discussion. And, dude, I had a great time, and I hope you guys enjoy this. If you want to see me live, guys, this weekend I'm going to be in Kansas City at the Comedy Club the 18th through the 20th. Okay? Going to be at the Comedy Club in Kansas City, one of my favorite clubs to play. And then the LA, then we're going to be, dude, I got a murder lineup for you here at the Comedy Store for Comedy Chaos. Hopefully we'll sell it out. Anything else, guys? All right.
Johnny Woodard on Twitter. Come hang out.
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Oh, final thing, real quick. SamTripoli.com, $8 for premium content. I'm going to still be putting an episode on Rockfin, but everything is now, all the episodes that I'm doing are going on SamTripoli.com. It's only $8, and I guarantee you, dude, you're going to get blown away because we're doing a lot of dangerous conversations, deep conspiracy rewinds, AMAs, all that stuff. So join me on there. Only $8. Great way to support the show. And okay, enjoy this awesome, insane, crazy fucking interview with the man, the myth, the legend, one of my favorite wiggers, Stu Peters. All right, let's get into it. Very excited to have this guest on. It's a real honor to have him in studio. He's a real fireball. He's fearless, you know, which is super important these day and age, you know, because everybody's, you know, the shadow in the cave of cancel culture, the shadow in the cave of the tech companies come to get you. This guy doesn't care. I'm very excited to have him on. Please welcome for the first time of hopefully many times, Stu Peters. How are you, buddy?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm very excited to have you on. I've been watching you from afar, and I love everything you do.
Well, why are you way over there? Come on, let's go.
I thought I thought it'd be weird if we were both on the same side and he's just staring at us the whole time. You know? It's all feng shui, bro.
What do I do? What am I supposed to do?
I don't know,
like
man.
studying me over here.
He's not. He doesn't hang out with guys in all
Look
purple.
I'm on this. He's got my Wikipedia up here. You're gonna find all kinds of truth right there.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
It makes him uncomfortable that a grown man's wearing an outfit.
Just
next
make
to
sure
him.
that you go to the bottom and look at all the contributors to that page and who wrote all that shit about me.
Well, Stu, for those who may not be familiar with you, we were having a little conversation before the show, but
Yeah.
I'd love to have it right here too.
Sure.
For those who aren't familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
I mean, where they can find me is really important. StuPeters.com is probably the only thing I can guarantee will always be there.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
But we're on Rumble. Those are my people. I want to give a big shout out to Chris Pavlowski and all the people over at Rumble because, like when YouTube kicked us off and when we were kicked off of Twitter and all the, big platforms, just previous to Died Suddenly, when I released the trailer for that, life-saving documentary, immediately I was kicked off of all the meta platforms and everywhere else. So, like Rumble was our home and those are good people. So I think that, as content creators that really want to, truth crusaders that want to tell the truth, I think it's important to pay homage, right, to the people that were there for you. So Rumble is really good, but so if you want to catch me there, we're everywhere. We're even on DirecTV and Dish Network now. So for all these people saying like I'm so hyperbolic and controversial, well, then why are we on DirecTV and Dish Network? We're still on Apple Podcasts, Apple TV. You can find us on Roku, Amazon. I mean, we're basically everywhere except Spotify. I think Joe Rogan might have set that up. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he saw a competitor coming or something. I don't know.
Very, very weird.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of we get constantly hit up, right, Johnny? That like
all the time.
All my podcasts are getting, something's glitchy with them on
Spotify.
Spotify hit me up because you go on these wherever you host your podcast. They have all these things where they can help you get ads and all that stuff. And
as a matter of fact, if you Google Stu Peters, one of the articles that you'll see at the very top is before there was Joe Rogan, there was Stu Peters banned by Spotify. And so, I've always been painted as this like, very evil, very dangerous individual, like, violence inciting, anti-Semitic, bigoted, racist, misogynist, like all these, buzzwords that are used to scare people away from my content because they're very, very scared of the truth. And, when you're unafraid to actually say things in such a way where I think that there's a lot of, and you could agree or disagree, but I think there's a lot of, like alternative media broadcasts, right? This is a big space now, right? Because I think that the mainstream media is by and large becoming irrelevant with the emergence of alternative media in the digital age because people have access to this like information superhighway. It's at their fingertips on their smartphones all day long. And they're like, well, wait a minute, this official narrative, it doesn't really quite add up. So let me go look at this myself. And when they do go look at this themselves, they find like actual factual-based, irrefutable evidence to suggest that, this is a guy who's actually telling the truth. And I think that the people who are controlling the media, which we can get into that conversation, who controls the media, I think that they're getting very scared, very nervous about this. And I think that's why we're seeing an uptick in hubris, arrogance, violence, extremist rhetoric, and it's not coming from us. We're just wanting to save lives,
And so we've talked about this before on our show. It's like this whole thing. Like I had a bunch of friends on the Tom Brady roast, and I couldn't be happier for them. They all did great. But you instantly started hearing comedy's back, we're back, comedy's back, and like I'm like it almost. And I was on Jimmy Dore's show, and we were talking about it. I'm like, it didn't seem very authentic to me, and what it felt to me was that they were trying to tell you, hey man, come back to our platforms. We're doing the dangerous again. Or what I call safe dangerous. I think what you do and what I do, what I call dangerous. Like there's certain topics that are just people have emotional reactions to, like somebody, calling Tom Brady fag. To me, isn't that dangerous? I call him faggot ever since
telling
he
a
fumbled.
nigger joke or something.
Yeah,
right?
like something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that to me is the more safe, dangerous. It's to the super normies, kind of edgy, but but they want to bring them back. Like the money that Hollywood's losing doesn't mean shit because the Fed just cleans up the books, but it's the losing of your attention. Mm-hmm. So now they have to have all these things that they see as, oh, hey, dude, look, credibility. So they'll have one credible thing followed by a bunch of retarded shit.
Yeah, bullshit. Total bullshit, yeah.
So
But the problem with the bullshit that they're telling as an aside is that it's actually life-threatening. Take Safe and Effective, for example.
Right.
They regurgitate this over and over again, and so people actually believe it because in passing is how people are getting their news. So along with, as I referenced, the information superhighway being at your fingertips, the problem with that is the attention span of normal consuming Americans becomes extremely short because they know that they can just scroll. So the people behind all of the puking and vomiting of information, just relentlessly infiltrating your smartphones and your tablets and your television sets, they know that people are busy. Like they're raising families, they're going to hockey practice and baseball games and, soccer matches, whatever you call that. Soccer's gay to me, so I don't know, whatever you call that. But, people are going to these, they're very busy. They're raising their 2.2 kids. They have 1.5 dogs to let out, before they shit on their floor. They don't want that because they're paying $4,000 a month for their cubicle where they live in LA or wherever they're at. And so they're busy and they just get this in passing. So it's very important for this media to continue to repeat like catchphrases like, fair election, safe and effective, integrity filled, all these things. So I think it's
you
really
find that with October 7th, right? The October 7th is the greatest example of how they operate, which is like, just say what they want to hear. Like these Christian Zionists, all these people, they just want to hear that there was an attack on our side, and you can go do whatever you want after that. Even as Ben Swan, who I don't know if you've seen the video, but he just breaks it all. I'm like, I've been studying October 7th, so I knew a lot of it. There was stuff on Ben Swan's video that's even more shocking that you're like, oh, this is so obviously a false flag to bring in this thing because, again...
Do you think there was a stand-down order?
I think all of it. I think I think it wasn't maybe it wasn't necessarily a standout, but it was a Hannibal mass Hannibal directive.
Do you think Israel set up October 7th much like they set up 9/11?
Yeah. And I'm
Wait,
reading.
so it wasn't more like they let it happen; they set it up.
I think
there's two different things. There's one letting it happen, and then one like, oh,
yeah, there's a big difference.
9/11's definitely. I'll get your thoughts on October 7th, whether they made it happen. We know.
Do you think 9/11 was Israel?
Yeah. I think it was part. Israel was a big.
You don't believe that it was some guy in a bat cave in
Afghanistan?
No,
I don't believe that sand people flew planes, did the greatest thing ever. I'm also now reading Final Judgment, I believe it's called, and it's the Kennedy assassination, and Meyer Lansky's all over that.
I recommend everybody reads that as well as Mein Kampf. I think everybody should read Mein Kampf.
We'll get into that because. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, dude.
The Dalton translation, though, make sure that you don't read the one that was translated by a person who claims to be a Jew.
Well, we can get into it now or a little later, but what I have a problem with this narrative about Hitler right now on Twitter is this thing that he's some kind of anomaly to everything, when I, in my heart of hearts, believe that this is a Abrahamic apocalyptic prophecy, and that Germany leads the pagans in the war against the lost tribes of Israel.
And I respect that because, here's what we have to do. We have to understand that, just take every one of these forever wars that we've ever been in. Weapons of mass destruction, Saddam Hussein ties to Al-Qaeda, the Syrian Red Line, the shit about Benghazi, the 9/11, the whole war on terror, spreading democracy. All of this, everything that we have ever been told about a war is a lie.
Yes.
And that includes World War II.
Yes.
And we're talking about the events leading up to that war and the decades after World War II. I don't believe that the Holocaust was the reason for World War II, and I don't want to sit here and debate Holocaust and all of this other stuff.
Fine.
Because
I get what you're saying.
I think Wikipedia says that I'm a Holocaust denier. I've never done that. I've only actually the only thing that they can never get me on in this, and I'm just going to be open about this, is because I think this pisses me off when they call me a Holocaust denier, because I've never denied that atrocities happen.
Yeah.
Of course of course atrocious things happen. It was a war. It was a world war. Of course bad things happened on all fronts.
Right.
But what I did say was that even in 1991, the Chicago Tribune, and you can look this up, did an article that said, gone are the inscriptions in 19 different languages, in 19 different places, that 4 million people died at Auschwitz, because they didn't. They said that the numbers were actually like 1.4 million, which is still a tragic amount of people.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be dying.
I agree.
In these bombings and wars. I think wars are senseless and stupid. But that just, all I said was, so with that revelation, has the overall 6 million number ever been adjusted to reflect the Auschwitz revelations?
Right.
And that's all I said. So I didn't deny that the Holocaust happened. None of that.
I get what you're saying, because I've said this before. If you go to the average person, you could be on an island with a pedophile or a Holocaust denier, they're going to sit there and debate about it. That's how crazy it is, right? They're going to debate which one do I want to get
We're
stuck
in LA
with.
right now. You can find a pedophile on every street corner.
Yeah,
out here.
right. So my whole thing is this, if you go, Sam, what do you think happened in the Holocaust? I think the Zionists killed the Orthodox. That's my opinion. That the Orthodox never wanted that. And we can get into the whole thing and I'll debate anybody on it. Like, people didn't want to move to Israel. Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you're paying attention, you know that the de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. Gold and silver have been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all things precious metals. Veteran owned and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction too big or too small. You can even roll your over your 401k and IRA into physical gold and silver.
And if all of this sounds like it might be too complicated or too expensive, think again. With the Wolfpack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. You set it and forget it, and every month you invest a little in your future and the futures of those you care for. It could not be simpler.
Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. Bang, bang, pow. Just go to SamTripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive a free constitutional silver. And remember, in a world of bulls and bears, okay, be the wolf.
Why is your LA upside down?
Why is your flag upside down on your shirt? Tell me about your shirt.
Well, I got stopped. I got stopped in the airport. It was by some guy that said that he was a Marine. And nowadays everybody lies, so I don't know if he was or not. But I say, actually, you as a Marine should know this. The upside down flag represents a nation in distress.
Yep.
And when your flag is upside down, it's actually like a call for help. Hey, we're in distress, we need help. And I believe that, like right now in current times, how can you deny in any aspect that we are a nation in distress?
I
whether
couldn't
it be,
agree more.
you know,
My friend Tino Sanchez, it's so funny, he just texted me as I was thinking about him, but he says I should say LA is in distress because it is in distress. It has been infected with trust fund kids that just are allowed to react emotionally to everything. And I'm getting a lot of shit right now on the internet because I said, like, you can't have, even though we don't live in a democracy, you can't even have the theory of democracy if you're only voting emotionally. If you're treating it like a sports team, you can't.
Do you think that voting counts?
Well, I don't. But Eddie Bravo said something very interesting to me. And he goes, if it doesn't mean anything, why are they going so hard into fucking rigging it? Why are they spending so much time going out of their way to rig it?
Well, of course. I mean,
but it's the illusion of voting that is the important thing. So in that aspect, yeah.
Yeah, it's all part of the movie that we're all playing a part in or watching. Actually, we're not even playing it. Well, we are playing a part in it. Probably most people involuntarily because they're sheep just doing whatever their television tells them to do. I think that we need to go vote. And I'll tell you that the case that I make for everybody going and voting is for evidence collection. Because I know that it's rigged and stolen and fake and gay, all these elections.
Yeah,
so I think that we need to be, because there will eventually be a time of accountability. And there will eventually be a time where the citizenry is so upset about this and they have reached a breaking point where they do what any reasonable group of people would do. And then they have, American citizen-led military tribunals and hold these people accountable. I mean, I'm Mr. Extreme Accountability. This is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen in our lifetimes. And so I would say go and vote. Go vote your ass off. Go vote absolutely 1,000%. If you're an illegal alien, you get to vote 35,000 times. So why not?
It's so crazy to me that people think that's okay. And again, it's just brainwashing.
And then you saw just recently, our fake government, uniparty, corporate crime syndicate just voted down a bill to make it where illegal invaders can't vote. Like, what? Why? What is the justification behind this, and where is this coming from? Which is what has led me to this, almost tunnel vision of who occupies our government. Which is why I have a new film coming out. If you watch Died Suddenly, and here's a plug. If you watch Died Suddenly, which is a life-saving film seen by hundreds of millions of people worldwide. We are going to. Yeah, there's Old World Order. That's a Hibbler film.
Yeah, we love it.
Yep.
Hibbler's been
one of the greatest godsends actually of all time is Hibbler coming on board as a filmmaker for the Stu Peters Network. I mean, it's just
That's
absolutely
great.
amazing.
He deserves it. His editing is
Phenomenal.
top shelf studio
it
editing.
is. It really is. I mean, and if you haven't been on Twitter to see the teaser for this new film coming out this fall is called Occupied, and the film is basically it's about pointing out the very obvious infiltration and occupation of our government.
Okay.
And it's not just our government, but it's society-wide.
Yes.
It's all of our institutions.
It's a Bolshevik revolution.
It's all of our unelected bureaucratic positions. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But this is where I get into and I don't want to stay on the Hitler thing. I just want to wrap that up, is that Hitler did the same thing that Stalin and Mao did. Like, if you look at these superpowers, the whole thing is you can't invade them. You can't. You'll get your dick kicked in. So you have to destroy them from the inside. And that's what's happening in America right now. We're kind of the color revolution, right, or the cultural revolution of China and the Bolshevik revolution of Russia. They've kind of each of these superpowers, they have a different version of how they destroy from the inside. In America, they're using both of them. They're taking these rich ass kids and weaponizing them
But who's they? When you say they are taking these rich ass kids, who's they?
I mean, at the highest levels, Babylonian money magicians.
So Jews.
I think it's above. I think it's
those
above,
are the money changers. That even Jesus talked about.
I think it's even above that. I think it's above any of these Abrahamic religions. I think it goes all the way back to even Samaria.
Okay, well then, who are they? I mean, if you're not going to identify
13
them,
families. But listen, I'm not saying that there isn't a banking cabal that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But I think Zionists, I think Freemasons, Jesuits, they're all middle managers.
I'm not going to deny that Jesuits are a big problem.
They're all like the Freemasons.
And Freemasons,
they're all playing their roles, and
Yeah.
like if you know them, I don't think they run shit. I think there's this group that's way above
I do too,
it.
and I think that group is very obvious because when 2% of the American population has this, here it is right here on the screen. Look at this. Okay, so you have Victoria Nuland with the State Department.
No,
you have
I agree
Anthony
with that.
Blinken. Merrick Garland runs the DOJ,
Stu,
which is targeting regular Americans.
I agree with you.
Chuck Schumer set up 9/11, or excuse me, not 9/11, January 6th, which basically was another 9/11. Alejandro Mayorkas, here's a guy who claims to be a Jew. He's running the Department of Homeland Security.
I totally agree with
He is
you.
like organizing the physical invasion of
hear
our
me out.
country. And
One
then
thing.
Janet Yellen, the Treasury, she's like best friends with the Fed. By the way, that's located on Rothschild's Boulevard in Tel Aviv.
I have no argument with what. The only thing I will tell you, brother, is when you study these people, they give you symbols of occult fucking practices that they do. Even if you get into Jeffrey Epstein, his whole thing is littered with fucking occult symbolism. They have to walk around as Jews so they can walk around us.
Yep, well, right. So they walk around as Jews so that they can hide behind this cloak of protection.
Yes,
right? So
but at the highest levels, it's occult magic.
It's anti-Semitism, which is it's a living and breathing
Right.
definition. Like, look, for example, like the definition of vaccine.
Right.
How many times during the fake pandemic did they change the definition of what a vaccine was? Now you're not getting a vaccine to protect yourself, which is what we've always been told. Like, I mean, right?
No, a vaccine. What I remember was like they gave you a little bit of it, so your body can learn to protect itself from it.
So like growing up, a vaccine you learned was to get some sort of a live or simulated virus. It gets into your bloodstream or into your body. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say. But this was to protect you from getting sick. You're getting inoculated to protect you from getting the measles and the mumps and rubella or any one of the 72,000 shots.
If the kid has it,
Hibbler, how many shots do you have to have by the time that you're 18 now? Do you remember?
I believe in California there's 72 shots.
Yeah,
72.
that's why I want to get my kids out of.
Yeah. So, but I mean, this is like not just. I mean, California may be in abundance, but CDC wide recommendations across the country are it's astronomical. All these shots.
You're not going to hear an argument.
So,
from me on that.
but the definition of vaccine was to keep your child. The reason why you did this was so that your kid would not get sick.
I agree.
Okay. Now you get a vaccine. You get a vaccine to protect him.
Yep.
He gets a vaccine so that you don't get
It's
sick.
so dumb.
It's the loving thing to do. Ask your pastor, the Schofield writing, Bible reading, fake
Let's get
teacher.
I love to have a discussion
you know?
about Schofield. So we're screaming at each other in agreement here. They're like, I
agree. Yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying. I just feel that like
I don't know. You
studying
keep
this.
wanting to talk about Hitler, so I mean,
No,
we can.
no.
I think I will say this. I think
I'm done with it. We won't talk again.
Can I say one more thing about Hitler though before we move on?
Okay, you want to keep talking about Hitler?
I just want to say one more thing because you got on this. I wasn't going to go right there, but since you did, I will say this. The press also says that I called Hitler a hero in a recent broadcast that I did. I did not do that. I did not say Hitler is a hero.
Yeah.
What I said was this. I started referring to the book burnings, the old Nazi book burnings as they're called, right?
Yeah.
And what I said was, look, these people were pushed to a breaking point and they broke. They did what any reasonable people would do. There was a reason why millions and millions of people supported the rise of the National Socialists. They went after people like Magnus Hirschfeld, the godfather of transgenderism, the people that were putting pedophilic, pornographic filth directly in the faces of children, like we see every June, all month of June. You got pedophiles in the streets, hiding under this cloak of LGBTQism, rubbing their dicks in the faces of kids and not going to jail, actually being protected by the police. So these people in the 1930s, they said, no, we don't want this. And if you look at a Trump rally today, you see 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people showing up, right? Go look at a Hitler rally. I mean, there was hundreds of thousands of people out there, potentially even millions. We'll never know. I think he is the most lied about man in human history, besides Jesus Christ. I think that Hitler may be the most lied about man in human history. And there was a reason why they did it. And what I said was these book burnings, what they were burning was all of this pedophilic, pornographic filth that was targeting their children. They were trying to protect their kids. And I said that was an heroic act. And I think that in modern day America, we need to make book burnings great again. We should do this book burning. I think that if you went into your public school for your kids, whether they be elementary, middle school, high school aged, and you went into their public school library, most parents won't do this. Why? Because school is the publicly funded daycare system.
Yeah, it's also a place where homeless people jerk off.
They get to go to, yes, of course.
Yeah,
they get to go.
Shouldn't that be a ban on books at school, not a burning?
Well, why not?
You're saying you're burning
why not
the book.
burn them? Why not burn the filth? Why not?
Because adults should be able to read the filth if they want to. I'm not saying I am, but you're saying you're burning.
No, I get what you're saying, Stu. I'm not against it.
Because it's literature that's written to target children specifically.
I agree with you, dude.
If it's for children,
I'm
100%,
very specific
100%.
on my views on that. It's just like there's things that Hitler did that to me doesn't make sense. And listen, dude, it's like if you want to create somebody that the people get behind, if you want to create somebody he has to do certain things to get the people behind them. But there's things that don't make sense to me about Hitler that I just push back on.
Can I just say one thing that I think might make sense to you?
Right.
Okay. So let's just break this down a little bit.
Do you think he died in Argentina?
I can't say that. I can't say that for certain. Here's what I do know. Hitler allegedly committed suicide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hitler was targeted by a media regime.
Right.
Okay. And this media regime targeted Hitler and painted him as this boogeyman, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, then you had Saddam Hussein, you had Muammar Gaddafi.
Right.
You have, now in present day, you have Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
These are like the evil boogeymen, bad guys of the world. Do you know the one thing that every one of them has in common?
Right.
Every one of them kicked out of their country the Jewish criminal Rothschild central banking cabal.
I agree with you. But let me just say this.
They didn't kill Saddam Hussein for ties to Al-Qaeda.
I totally agree with you. But Putin also Yeltsin had to get Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton's permission for Putin to be able to run, and Putin needed a false flag to get his numbers up. I'm not arguing with. I'm just telling you that there's things like if you tell me that Hitler is fighting the bankers, why is he taking money from AG Farben, which is the IG Farben, the American branch of that, where people who were on the New York fucking Federal Reserve, they were the head of that, was on the board.
Well, because don't you think that there are people, don't you think that there are people that share a faith that they have been, we'll talk about the Schofield Bible reading pastors.
But real quick before you get into that, why doesn't he go into Switzerland?
Well, I don't know his motivations at that point.
But the motivation that we're being told, and like when you bring up Rothschilds, I don't think the Rothschilds are Jews. I think they're above that shit. I think that, again, they just do that to walk around.
Well, they say they're Jews.
Well, because again, I say I'm a fuck. A big
Wait. What are you lying about?
I lie about a bunch of shit. Ask my girlfriend.
Why would you believe that?
But my point is, like, I think there's a longer game, and that Hitler's role was the same thing that Stalin did, the same thing that Mao did. And Mao
I don't know,
had
man.
Rothschild.
I mean, to me, from where I sit, like, I mean, look, all I can look. I wasn't alive in the 30s.
So let me ask one real quick.
Yeah.
So we will agree that the story of the Holocaust isn't what we're told.
Agreed.
Okay. So we have this thing that Hitler hates Jews, right? But then we're also saying that he didn't kill as many Jews as we were told by everybody. Listen to me, man.
I agree with that, too.
I'm just telling you. Like, his whole job was to scare everybody to run to Israel. I'm just saying, like, this guy's it has to be an anomaly that makes zero sense.
Israel was founded May 14, 1948.
Right, but the problem is that none of the Jews in Europe wanted to move there because they love living in Europe. They couldn't get them to move there. So, like what we're doing with October 7th.
They couldn't kick them out of any country that they had occupied. I mean, these people have been kicked out of hundreds of countries.
But they were living in Europe, and they didn't want to move to Israel. They liked their life, and so what you have to do is insane.
Look, bottom line, Israel is fake.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's just a
I
fake,
know that.
A fake construct that was just arbitrarily formed in 48. What it is?
Do you believe in Khazarians?
No, you know what? I looked into all of that.
Okay.
All these different sects, like Orthodox and Khazarian, and like all. What are some of these other ones? Hasidic and like the Tunnel Jews from New York, like these people. No. That is all. That is like saying that we have a two-party representative constitutional republic here. No, we don't. We have a uniparty. Okay, we have the elites and we have the non-elites. Right. Same thing with these. These are just Jews, and if you're afraid to say that,
same Jews, right?
But what do you mean? I mean,
okay, let me explain
that to me.
Okay, so if we're going to do bloodlines, which this is all about,
no, it's not about that. It's about every Jew would tell you that they either read the Torah or the Talmud. Right. Every one of them rejects Jesus Christ as their Messiah.
That Ashkenazis are not Semitic. They're not from Shem.
Right. No. Those people are like incest. They're like from three.
But they're two different groups.
3 different families.
That's why they don't do DNA tests in Israel.
Yeah, but that's because
they're going to find out they're all Europeans, because that's where the Jafai.
They would love for us all to be about have 3 mothers and everybody fucks everybody. I mean, honestly, these are the most depraved people ever.
Versus the
So what you're trying to do
Ashkenazis.
so here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make an argument that there's like good Jews and bad Jews.
Well, I mean, there's Jews. I mean, there's Jews. Like when I used to watch, like, on Twitter, everyone teeing off on white people, like we all work together, like we're all the one thing. George Bush and I are not the same white person. Like, I don't get to go where he goes.
But
he
I mean,
would
all
drop
of
a bomb
them
on me in a heartbeat.
But all of them reject Jesus Christ.
Okay, yeah, but not all of them are bloodthirsty, want to kill their own kind of people at the top.
They are all following the same leadership, and they are all morphing into the people who believe that when the new Messiah comes, or the real Messiah comes, that we will all be their slaves. And that is something that they cannot reject, whether they are Torah or Talmud readers. And I'm saying, fuck that. No, we won't.
Okay.
No, because I am not a slave to any man.
Right.
I am a follower and a believer in Jesus Christ. And anybody who suggests that I'm going to be their slave because they read a certain book, no, absolutely not.
No, I understand that.
That is the synagogue of Satan.
I agree with what you're saying. I would just tell you that there's a lot of Jews out there that don't even go to fucking synagogue.
But those people are... So going back to the Schofield Bible readers, right? These are people, and I'm comparing them right now. I'm not saying that they're the same, but I am. Even the pastors and the faith leaders and the fake teachers and the false preachers that are sitting behind pulpits at the Crystal Cathedral and all the places that everybody watches and all these big mega churches and like, oh my God, I'm being led to Jesus. No, you're not. You're being led right to the lake of fire because this guy's teaching you a false doctrine. He's not teaching out of the Bible. Right? Okay, but there's how many millions of people that believe this and they follow 100%. This, right? Okay, the same thing with these people who are claiming to be Jews, right? They're like, oh, I'm a Jew. Do they even know about the Talmud? Do they even know that it says that, you can rape little kids, that you're supposed to rape little kids, and they have to be under the age of 3, and then you have to kill them and all this other stuff? Do they know that, like, this religion teaches that Jesus Christ is boiling in a pot of steaming excrement and semen?
Saying.
Like, they don't even know this.
But
so they claim to be Jews.
I know a lot of Christians. I totally understand what you're saying, dude. I'm not.
So I'm not saying that these people who claim to be Jews all want to like blow up our towers.
And they all don't want to. I understand what you're saying. I just feel that like when we make blatant, like I just had a guy on a podcast. He's like, I want all Muslims dead. I go, that's a crazy thought to me. That's a crazy thought to me.
Yeah,
and
I
they're
would
a
never say
Christian.
that. I would never say
understand that. And listen, I understand your passion and I appreciate it because I feel like if we can't have these conversations, we're never going to get anything changed. We're just going to keep playing patty cakes.
Well, if you go back to the screen where all of those positions of power where I showed that they, like actually Hibbler showed, where all of these positions are being held by people who say that they're Jews. Alejandro Mayorkas. I mean, how is Mayorkas even a Jew name? I mean, it's so fake.
Well, the Mexican president's supposed to be Jew.
Yeah, I know. I mean, imagine that.
No, there seems to be they seem to be making a
kind of
what I would
come-out.
say is obvious.
Yeah.
No, an obvious move. Usually it's behind closed doors.
Yeah,
and now it's pretty obvious.
That's why I said at the top of the show, like hubris. Hubris is out of control because these people, they know that they're in the spotlight. They know, they can see the pendulum swift of the Overton window on places like X. They see that there is a conversation that's happening at an unprecedented level. I think a lot of that credit is due to an Alex Jones brave. He was very brave to have me down there 6 months ago and basically talk about this issue.
Yeah,
you could tell that
you were great.
You could tell that he was very visibly upset and shook. He didn't want to talk about this. I don't know if that he's done business with these people. I don't know what the case is. I'd be more than happy to go back down there and have a conversation with him about it. I hope that he'll sit down and talk on the Hibbler film Occupied that the Stu Peters Network is doing, because I mean it's going to be a world-changing film. Because what this is about is it's an objective look, right? I'm not a guy who says I hate Jews. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Buddhists. I don't hate Mormons. What I do is pray for them, right? As a Christian, that's what I'm called to do.
I respect that.
I am called to pray for you. I hope that you will find Jesus Christ so that I can see you eternally in heaven and that you're not burning at the lake of fire. But objectively and in the real world, in the natural, what I'm doing and what this film is aimed to do is point out this obvious occupation. I mean, you can't deny it. It's not just in our government, but it's unelected bureaucrats. It's in every institution. It's in our public school systems. It's in our privately funded Ivy League universities. It's everywhere you look.
I agree.
And when you're like a business owner, you're a business owner. I'm a business owner. If there's a certain part of the Stu Peters network that's failing, I'm going to say, oh, well, I need to go to the leadership of that department and figure it out. Who's running this particular department?
Yeah.
Well, when you look at the United States, whose dick is being dragged through the dirt right now,
agree.
everywhere you look.
Yes.
I mean, I'm in LA right now, but I was just talking to Hibbler. I cannot believe this city. This city is fucking out of control.
Yeah,
and so you're like, whoa.
I want to move so badly.
And so
you haven't been to downtown. I don't think he drove you over there.
But if you look around at every failing part of America, whether it's the institution of finance and economics or education or I mean wherever you look, you go, well, who's running that? And it's weird because at the top of every one of those things is a Jew. And I'm not going to feel like, oh, you shouldn't say that because these people are Jews, because I will tell you this. If every one of these departments was overwhelmingly occupied by somebody who was a Chinaman, you would go, oh.
I love that, dude.
Well, they're all Chinese.
Yeah.
Why is it that everyone that's running and the head of every one of
I
all
agree.
of these...
So here, let me meet you in the middle where
or a Venezuelan or,
My opinion
an Islamic... Muslim, like
no, I'm
wearing
with you
a towel on
and
their
then
head.
we've had real strong discussions about Hillary Clinton and her assistant, who has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. It's like in there, and we have this whole thing with China's infiltrating us, and we don't talk about Israel's infiltration. I totally agree with you. And my whole theory my whole belief is everybody should be treated like white people on Twitter in 2018, where you could just blame them for everything. And if you're telling me there's an overrepresentation,
That's
which
still
I'm not
happening
arguing
now.
with you, overrepresentation in a lot of different places. I don't think it's anti anything to talk about that.
I used to say overrepresentation, but now I'm calling it an occupation. I mean, it's obvious that there is nowhere that you can look where there is a more protected class of people that has a position in more places of authority and foreign policy a sway than this group of people. There's nowhere. Nobody can objectively, irrefutably tell me that there is. That is a fact. There's no place anywhere on the face of the planet that is more occupied by any other demographic than there is by Jews. And every one of these places, in every one of these institutions, in all of these unelected bureaucratic positions, in the positions that are determining how many millions of people the U.S. military-industrial complex goes and drop bombs on, little kids and women, forever wars, how many millions of people have died at the hands of these people? Every single one of these positions is led by a person who claims to be a Jew. And that pisses me off because nobody wants to talk about it. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you will.
Can I ask you now? There was a time when a person being Catholic was disqualifying because they were beholden to a foreign
disqualifying
power.
for what exactly?
Public office, seeking public office, like Kennedy, for instance. You know, labored under that during that campaign because he was. The idea was that he was beholden to a foreign power, the Vatican.
Yep.
Is that disqualifying for you, someone being Jewish? Would you not vote for a person because they were Jewish?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I mean, if I thought my vote counted,
if you under that illusion.
No, I would not vote for a Jew. Okay. I believe that these are a depraved people. I believe that these are the ones that are not depraved are misled by degenerates who are promoting agendas of depravity. The common denominator is these people wearing these little hats.
Yeah.
And they have this immunity shield. They have this cloak of protection around them that will literally get you canceled everywhere. And the reason why a lot of people, I will say this, we put a teaser out for this film, Occupied, and it's been viewed on X within 3 days over 1 million times. That means that out of all of the shares that it had, these are normal people with small accounts who are sharing this and taking the risk of losing their jobs, being outcast from their social groups, never talking to their sister or their mother again, who's been indoctrinated by the Schofield Bible reading Pastor Greg Locke, who wants to blow Gaza into glass.
No, I'm with you on that.
And so these people are risking a lot because they see it too. There is not a normal person sitting at their dining room table who has not noticed this over the last 6 months. And people are pissed about it because why would America be run by dual citizens? Why would America be beholden to somebody who has to go kiss a wall?
You're bringing up stuff.
How is that different than a Catholic, though, is what I would ask you. How is that different?
Well, I mean, Catholics are Christians. Christians accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.
They're beholden to the Vatican.
We are in a Christian country founded under God.
And the Vatican is there's 3 different territories, sovereign territories. One is the Vatican. The other one is the City of London, which is the Bank of England.
Yes.
And then the United States, which is, a lot of people are talking about how Rome, England, these empires, they didn't go away. They just rebranded themselves.
You can debate all the sects, and I reject the sect theory of the Jews as well. Like, you're a Jew, you're a Jew.
You think all Jews are the same?
No. That would be like saying all Christians are the same.
Right. That's kind of what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't believe that. But I'm not going to subscribe to this theory where we say, Alejandro Mayorkas may be a Khazarian, but Chuck Schumer is a Messianic Jew, and Janet Yellen is an Ashkenazi Jew, and no, I'm not going to do that. They're all Jews.
I agree with that, but there's levels of these things.
There's
right?
not because we're talking about 2% of the population,
right?
That is controlling, I would say, over 90% of our government and institutions.
Okay,
at the top levels,
right?
That's unprecedented.
No, I know.
Now, if you were to say, Christians control almost 90% of our government, I would say, well, of course, because it's a Christian country founded under God. Yeah, that's the way that it should be. This is an infiltration and occupation by a foreign state.
You're saying Israel.
A fake foreign state. Yeah, of course it's Israel. And it's a fake foreign state, one that was set up, in 1948. I'll tell you what Israel is. Israel is the front lines of the military-industrial complex. It is the Lockheed Martin Raytheon missile testing site. These people are the people that we have been going to war over for the longest time. And why is it that every single one of our elected representatives, elected using heavy air quotes, has to go through this humiliation ritual of wearing that tiny hat and kissing that wall and swearing an allegiance to this foreign state before they can swear an oath to our Constitution?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong on that.
They won't, even if you want to run a legitimate candidacy, let's just pretend that voting was real and Stu Peters wanted to go be the president and I wanted to go launch a legitimate campaign. I would never be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to be on the debate stage because unlike Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I won't go wear the stupid fucking hat and I will never kiss your fucking wall. And that means that I will never get the funding from the media. I will never get the funding from Rothschild Boulevard in Tel Aviv. I will never have all of the Jewish donors. I will never have the donors from Disney. I will never have the millions or trillions of dollars that are poured into these PACs to make sure that I become the president because I will put the interests of America and Americans first.
Listen, I feel that you are 100% correct. I feel that what happens is when we try to say these things. That's why I think they're trying to get rid of the word Zionism.
Yeah, you see
because
that?
Zionism allows you to have a real, hey man, this guy, my buddy who's a pizza delivery driver, he's trying to survive like us. But these fucking Zionists, and that's why they're trying to get rid of the word Zionist. And that's really where I'm from, dude. Like, I would lie to you if my girlfriend who's Jewish, she's like broke as fuck.
Wait,
okay?
Are you serious? Your girlfriend's a Jew?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you're, okay.
No. I mean, she does
That explains a lot.
No, but she doesn't like what Israel's doing either. She says it all the time.
Well, who would? Who would like what Israel's doing?
Exactly. That's my point.
Okay, but that's why you're asking me, do you think every Jew is the same? I think that if your girlfriend...
I would ask you that too, by the way, and I don't have any relationship to anyone Jewish.
But
I'm from the rural
if
South. I never saw a Jew until I was like 23.
Any person who claims to be a Jew that watches what Judaism is doing right now would denounce Judaism.
Yeah.
Because it is right now has become a satanic fake religion. It's a construct. What does Judaism even mean?
But let me ask you something. When you see in Philadelphia that 30,000 Orthodox Jews get together and they denounce what Israel's doing, does that resonate with you at all?
It does. And so now what they need to do is accept their Messiah, the real Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so that to me is different, okay?
Yeah.
Because that's your personal opinion, and I respect it because that's my opinion.
Well, it's not my opinion, it's God's law.
Yeah, but I love Jesus too, okay? And then I've had people on like Adam Green that told me that whole story is a narrative of control. I understand what you're saying. I agree with you. I also live in a place where I'm like, I can't tell people how to live their life.
Do you want me to tell you how fake Adam Green is?
I mean, you can. If you
this
want
guy,
to. Every show I do, somebody's calling out somebody else.
Yeah,
I'm like, I have no problems with anybody.
Yeah, but this guy in a public space, this Adam Green guy is a real tough guy against Stu Peters, and he wants to call me out. And so then I take the time to sit down at my own home and do this like super long debate over this stupid heifer killing episode, like this murderous slaughter of these animals that they die in the most heinous way possible. I mean, it's disgusting. I don't get me wrong. I love to eat beef and I'll kill a cow any day, but I would do it humanely. I wouldn't just like do all this lighting them on fire and all this crap. But this guy, so we have this debate. Then after the debate, he calls me out, like calls me a liar and a pussy and all this other stuff. But before the thing airs, so between the time that we do it to the time that it airs, during that time, Hibbler was there. He'll tell you, this guy's on the phone with King Bao, Joel Bauman. He's on speakerphone while I'm in my house saying, I just want to be friends with Stu. All I want to do is be friends with Stu. Just tell Stu I just want to be friends with him. Just see if I can have his phone number, blah, blah, blah. Then why are you running around out here talking? See, like, these are the people that I know are fake, and I will never be friends with fake losers.
I gotcha.
I can't ever say, like, look, if you and I sit here all hour and we disagree for the entire time, and we have a debate, and I'm like, I can't stand your opinions, and I hate them, but I respect you because you're willing to object to mine, and then we'll still shake hands afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
But when we walk out of here, I still disagree with you.
Yeah.
You still disagree with me, but we respect each other for having the conversation.
100%.
But I will never just go be like, oh, yeah, I really agree with you, and then go out there and be like, yeah, fuck him, he's fake, and
No, I
blah, you know, like that's bullshit.
I got you.
Like, why can't we just have adult conversations? And that's
Right.
why I don't respect the guy. I don't.
Okay, I understand that. And,
So,
you know,
and I don't think a
Adam
lot of
and
people
I-
know that, so I just want to make sure that I aired that out there that this guy's really
Adam
fake.
just did it. We had a big discussion. I don't know what happened there. I'm taking your word for it, and that's between you and him, and I respect that.
But it isn't between. It would be between me and him if he didn't go running into public platforms and lying on my name.
Right.
And I'm not going to have that.
But my whole thing is like I have so many.
And I didn't
battles
even
of my
correct
own.
it until
No,
you
I
brought
get
up
it.
his name.
I get it.
and it just
But the
reminded
point
me.
is-
so.
And we should say Adam's gone after you too.
Yeah, he's said some shit about me as well.
Yeah.
And
But to
unfortunately,
your face, you're like his bestie, right? I mean,
he's a
that's
very
the thing.
nice
I
guy.
don't
said
have.
that too.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Again, like, we just had somebody on the show lighting up Owen, and I'm friends with Owen. I
Benjamin?
like Owen. Yeah, I like Owen. We're friends, and we've been friends. We've had our moments where
I was just texting him on the way over here.
He
I got to
has
get him to
gas-
send me that bit that he did. He was like the Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Yeah.
Did you see that where he's blaming the Jew for everything?
No.
Well, he's not making fun of the Jews. Like, and anybody with any critical thinking skills would see that. Like, what he's making fun of is the person, me, that blames the Jews for virtually everything.
yes.
And it's like he's like, I can't. He's like got the pipe and everything, and there's like the girl sitting on the couch, and he's got
Yeah.
this little stuffed animal bear that's like Watson, and he's like, I couldn't make it to the gas station today because I don't have enough gas. That's because of the Jews. And he looks at the girl. And the bear, because he does the whole bear shtick,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You're not blaming the Jews. It's obviously the Jews." So, and then people are coming after him like he's this big anti-Semitic, and no, he's like, if you don't get the joke, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
He's not making
That's the
fun of the
problem
Jews.
with society. It's
Yes.
full of retards.
It is, and people who
Right.
they want to be offended by everything, and that's why truth telling is so hard in this space.
Right.
And that's why I have a problem with Donald Trump. It's why I have a problem with RFK. It's why I have a problem with, well, clearly Joe Biden doesn't know what truth he's even telling or hearing or anything. He doesn't know when he shits his pants or where. But I mean, like, everybody in our government is fake. You ever notice that? Like, it's
Yeah.
all this just, like, you can't even talk to a quote unquote politician without feeling like you just talk
That's
to a
the
used
inverted
car
world
salesman.
we live
Yeah.
in, dude.
It
God
is.
sent fallen angels down, and they run the realm. That's
just
like
it's
what
a-
it is.
it's a movie.
And you've heard that in Hinduism, and you heard that in Vedic astrology, which it goes way beyond Abrahamic religions. They all talk about God trapping entities in this realm. That's what we're battling here, and that's what people don't understand. And that's why, to me, it goes way beyond Abrahamic religions. That's really all I'm going to say. I think it's so beyond that. You study Jeffrey Epstein, dude. There's so much occult symbolism with what that guy does.
Of course.
And for me, dude, Israel is about a trade route. They want to control the trade route, which is the quickest way to get goods from Asia and Africa to Europe. And you control that. They want to put a fucking canal right through Palestine. And that's what this is all about.
But do they control that? Do they accomplish this canal route? Your theory. Do they control that by having a military just go bomb the shit out of countries all over the planet for decades? I mean, is that how they accomplish
think that what
goal?
they're doing is
because they're killing millions of kids.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not for that.
I'm very vocal on the internet that I am anti-war.
I know. I followed you on X. You don't even follow me. Did you?
I'll follow you right now, bro.
What is
I'll
that?
follow you right now, dog. We're gonna be BFFs forever. Look at that. Follows you. Follows you.
Yeah, see that?
See,
See
we
that?
got something out of this.
It
So that's my whole
said
thing.
follow back, right?
Yeah, I did. It did.
You really follow him?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So
lot of woods.
like we're talking the same thing, but just from different angles. And for me, just like I watched this happen with white people. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't what you want to call an occupying of an area. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying I've been talking about how the CIA
Yeah, I mean, it's
and
obvious.
the FBI controlled fucking gangster rap culture. And I got called an asshole. I went on black shows. They told me I was a racist. They said I didn't know what I was talking about. And I called Ice Cube. I go, Ice Cube is the Larry the Cable Guy of hip hop.
Well, Kanye knew it.
Yeah, they all did it.
Now,
and
look,
I wouldn't
he's
even
all
tell you
drugged
Kanye's
up.
a part of it. But now it's all coming out that the head of these execs, who are all Jewish, created that kind of that movement to hold down a group of people. That's 100% true. But for me, everything, like if you study these rappers
to hold
now,
down a group of people, but these 2% are holding down an entire civilization in the West. They are the ones that are promoting the transgenderism, the pedophilia, pornographic materials being targeted by our Department of Education. These are the people that are opening our borders. These are the people that are orchestrating a physical invasion of our country. While white people are persecuted here, minorities are given the right to vote. They're given guns. They're let right back out on the streets after rapes and violent
it's
crimes.
cultural Marxism.
Yeah, these are the people doing that.
Yes.
This one group of people, these people who claim to be Jews, are responsible for all of the aforementioned. So I can't say, like, I don't want to recognize that. Because before you can neutralize a threat that's imminently targeting your kids, before you can actually name them out loud, you can never come up with a methodical plan to neutralize that threat. And that's the conversation that we need to be having. How do we stop this? Because if we don't, our kids are being faced with an imminent bloodbath. I don't know if you have kids. I'm a father. I got 3 kids. Yeah, so,
I think a bloodbath is coming anyway.
Yes, of course.
I think it's... Dude, this is what they have us on. I think they want us to go into Russia, so we send all of our military age kids there.
And who are we going to Russia at the behest of? People who claim to be Jews. Who is the installed president after a 2014 coup in Ukraine? Volodymyr Zelensky, a Miami native who claims to be a Jew, a homosexual, by the way, who plays the piano with his penis. This guy's not Ukrainian. And by the way, speaking of who is Ukrainian, who is Ukrainian? Here's a country that was founded in 1991 after these borders were just arbitrarily set up after Vladimir Lenin's communist revolution. Who settled there?
And that's not even 2 generations.
Who became Russia? Who became Ukrainians? Russians. Who settled in Ukraine with this fake country? Russians. So these ethnic Russians that just wanted to be Russia were all of a sudden told, you're Ukraine. So now you have this territory where half of the country hates Russia and the other half of the country just wants to be Russia, and that's too bad. But then we decided to get involved.
Do you automatically hate Russia?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't hate Russia.
I have no ill will against Russians.
I'll just tell you from where I sit, Vladimir Putin looks to be one of the only men that's actually standing between what's left of the free world and whatever this one world governance is that's rushing our way. Here's another guy who kicked the Rothschild criminal central banking cabal out of his country.
You're not going to get an argument with me on Rothschild.
He's a Christian Orthodox. He has built more churches under his reign than any leader in Russia ever in the history of the USSR even. These aren't abominations either, like they look like prisons or prisons or modern day American schools, which they look the same.
100%.
These are like gold ensconced, like beautiful places of worship. He protects the interests of his people. He protects the interests of his country. He puts Russia first. He's a nationalist, which is what I don't have any problem saying that I'm an American nationalist. And I'm a Christian nationalist. I believe that the people who should be running our government and pulling the levers of power are Christian white Americans, not illegal aliens, not those of other ethnicities or.
You don't like diversity at all, minus the weaponization.
So what about like
I don't think
African American?
I don't listen. I wouldn't say I don't like diversity, but what I would say is this: diversity is not the strength or the bedrock of America.
Well, the weaponization is where we get in trouble. I mean, like
diversity does not bring us strength; it does bring us weakness. And when you fail,
when it's weaponized, but like there was a time before everything went FUBAR in LA where I lived in here in like the early the 1998s. Dude, it was great. I mean, you go somewhere, you get this culture and that culture, and then the weaponization happened.
Where does the
9/11.
weaponization come from?
Okay, yes, I get what you're saying.
The media, right?
Yes. 100%.
Who controls the media? Who owns the media?
I'm not arguing. Like, again, I'll tell you, dude. I'm just telling you, we should always have these conversations.
Yeah.
You should be able to have a conversation.
But you can't.
We are right now. I understand what you're saying, but you look at what's happening on Twitter right now.
Could we openly have this conversation on YouTube?
I mean,
but that is in a public space. We want to go. It's not. It's in an organization.
You are right, dude, and I think people are waking up to it, and everyone has to come to the understanding that, like, if you were able to fucking tee off on white people forever. There are people in Hollywood who are working because their Twitter blew up because they were anti-white, and now they're making six-figure money writing on fucking shows, teeing off on white people. Why is that okay? And why are we now passing laws the other way? And I'll tell you why. It's because once the firewall of any criticism of Jews go away, and you just make them like everybody else, now you're starting to look at the highest levels of power. Now we're looking at what is the Federal Reserve doing to our fucking world. And that's where I get into, not just America, to the world. And once you get to that, once you get there, you start to see the Babylonian money magic, the making of money out of nowhere, the making of a fucking a unit that is backed by nothing right now.
Who owns and controls and runs the Fed?
The Rothschilds, right? I'm with you. I'm just telling you, above all this is Babylonian. Well, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just study these guys, and I see all the symbolism all the time, whether it's this, whether
and you know
it's
what?
that,
I don't even believe that Victoria Nuland or Anthony Blinken or Merrick Garland or Chuck Schumer or Alejandro Mayorkas or Janet Yellen are actually practicing Jews.
I agree.
I don't even
That's my
believe
point.
that they even know what Judaism means or symbolizes. I don't even believe that Nancy Pelosi understands the meaning of the kente cloth that she wore around her
100%.
neck, or what tribe it represents when she was taking a knee and laying on her face in embarrassment after the parasitic criminal home invading thug called George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose in Minneapolis. These people are all fucking fake. Every single one of them is an actor being paid by a foreign interest, by a foreign nation state. Every one of them gets their money from this nation state. That's where we have a problem.
Listen, I want you to understand.
And this is a narrative that you said was meant to divide us.
Yes.
All of this polarization, all of this division, all of this hatred, it's all coming from the same place, the same media, owned by the same people. That's why I think it's a problem.
I understand.
Because it causes us to have these deadly rifts.
Now you're getting back to APAC, though, right? I mean, that's
oh my God, don't even get me started.
I'm with you on that. But I'm telling you, I'm with you on that. I just feel that like if you actually study like Israel, like I'm not arguing with you that this is why, like when I say I get comfortable with the term Zionist.
Yeah.
Because when you go like, and you could think it's my girl, like I wish you understood my relationship with my girlfriend.
I watched.
Like, I don't give a fuck.
I watched a lot of your content on my way down here on the plane.
Yeah.
Like I literally, like if I'm gonna sit down with somebody, I want to know what they're about.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of your content. I know you're very comfortable with Zionism. So was I. I was very comfortable with that.
But that's someone saying, I want you to understand that like me, like my girlfriend or whatever, like I do jokes about Jews all the time. I do it all the time to their fucking faces. And some of them laugh, some get upset, and I go, why you get upset? Because you just made, I'm totally with you on that. I just think, dude, that there's levels to this shit, and there's levels even beyond this that they're doing the will of it. And when I look at Israel and I find out that the Vatican owns like 50% of the land over there, and that when we talk about Rothschilds, we're talking about people that are above all this. I'm not arguing with you that there's an overrepresentation of that star, which that star isn't even Judaic.
It's a Star of Remphan.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like you see the symbolism right there.
Right. Yes.
And so when I Mitzi Shore, who owned the Comedy Store, she saved my life.
Which is why I said Israel's fake.
That's
even
what
their
we're
flag
talking about here.
Even their flag is fake. This is I'm telling you, this is set up by the military-industrial complex to funnel money through the DC Beltway and enrich and empower fat cats like the Pfizer butt slut Lindsey Graham and the mattress ladder climber Nikki Haley and eye patch guy Dan Crenshaw.
We're in an inverted
all of these
world.
people.
We're in an inverted world.
And
it's
so
an inverted world based on
when you
fallen
know
angels.
that Israel is fake and even their flag is fake, when you know, I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu, who's been in and out of power for decades.
No, I'm with you on that. And he's like Polish. He's got 5 social security numbers. This is stuff that I totally agree with you on. I just get nervous when we start saying that the average guy who's just fucking trying to work at Jamba
I don't think
Juice.
the average guy knows what a Jew means to be a Jew.
But there are Jews who work at Jamba Juice who are just trying to, and they would get fucking slaughtered in a heartbeat if a Zionist thought it would give them one more inch of fucking Palestine. That's my whole opinion. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like there are levels to the shit. Like I've been saying about white people. Like when everyone got mad.
These are the people that we need to be waking up. Like,
no, I'm with you.
These are the people. The guy at Jamba Juice needs to understand what this fake country is doing, and then you have to ask him, well, where does Israel come from? Like how did Israel come to
100%.
fruition? Like where did this happen? How did this nation state just pop up out of nowhere? How did these borders get set up? Why were they arbitrarily put in the Middle East, surrounded by the people who hate them, called Muslims, right? And then Muslims will be like, we don't even hate these people. You know, Muslims actually even believe in God. They actually even believe in Jesus Christ. They believe that he was a prophet.
100%.
You know, and I'll pray for them too, because I think that they should believe that
and
Jesus
they were
is their Lord and Savior as
betrayed
well.
as the bad guys by the military-industrial complex, which has. That's why they're getting mad at all these protests on campuses, because all these campuses take their profits and put it into the military-industrial complex, and no one knows that. That's why they didn't want to pay players forever. So I'm totally with you on all that. I'm totally with you. But again, we get into this symbol is from an occult, dark fucking religion back in the day. To me, it's just like there's
so if
levels.
their symbolism is fake, and if their borders are fake.
But the symbolism isn't fake. It represents another fucking religion.
That doesn't represent being a Jew, though.
Yes.
Because the Star of David is not even in the Bible.
Yeah, 100%.
Like this is the Star of Remphan. The state, the actual nation state, these arbitrary borders, this is not the Israel that Jesus Christ was talking about in the Bible. And this is why so many Schofield Bible reading Christians have a problem with recognizing this as being the issue that it is. And that was done intentionally on purpose to make conversations like this controversial. You're not allowed to question them because these are God's chosen people. This is Israel. These are the Jews. No, they're not. We are the Jews. We are the Israel. We are the followers of Jesus Christ, the believers that he was talking about. We are the ones that will be the most persecuted people on the face of the planet because we unapologetically, fervently follow Jesus Christ. This whole Christianity, Bible-believing, Jesus-following faith, this is who Jesus Christ was talking about when he was referencing Israel, not some arbitrary borders that were set up in 1948.
I totally agree with you. And
like, how could he have been talking about that?
People don't understand that. And, when you look at the Hannibal
So the guy at Jamba Juice needs to be talked to by Sam.
I agree. And I try my hardest, dude.
Talk to this guy.
I try my hardest.
All right, I'll go get a smoothie with you after the show. We'll talk to him.
I'm buying,
dude. We're
gonna
talk to Peter Rosenstein at Jamba Juice.
You already did it at everybody at Starbucks. You just got to go from Starbucks to Jamba Juice.
Yeah, I mean, I just have conversations with it because listen, we're beating this into the ground.
We are. We should talk about something else.
What I really want to say is this: is that people are waking up now. That people are passing laws that are protecting a class for no reason. And it gets down into like, why are you okay with these anti-Semitic laws? Why are you okay with it? Why does that seem okay when this has never been applied to any other group at any other time? Now, you do have like certain things when it comes to, like trans and stuff, and like nobody follows that ever. But there's no law except for what they're trying to pass right now. And that to me is because once everyone gets comfortable with calling out Jews on their shit, now you're getting to the highest levels of power. And that scares them the most, because then people are going to go, hold on, I thought my taxes went to war. They don't. They go to paying off the interest on the money printed to fund the war. That sounds like some bullshit to me.
That sounds like usury to me.
That's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
And I am 100% anti-usury. Okay? I'm against it. I think it's bullshit. And I think it's why Jesus said you can't have interest on money, dude.
That's why he went into the temple, braided his own whips, flipped those tables, and chased the money changers out of there.
And I've always said that the same people that took out Jesus are the same people that took out JFK, man. It's the exact same people.
Same people who brought our towers down.
Right? 100%.
Same people who have us trapped in Afghanistan for 20 years, teaching the importance of transgenderism to Pashtun tribesmen and looking the other way while warlords rape little boys.
Well, it's also that, They sell us on a lie so they can get the poppy fields of Vietnam and
That's
the poppy
true.
fields of Afghanistan.
That's right.
It's also the lie that that the government floods the I get in fights with my black friends because they get so angry at me calling out Camel Toe Harris, and they get really angry
You
at
think
me.
she's next up?
I think she's going to be president before the election.
I think that's probably true.
And
so then do you think that they'll have some like emergency at the DNC convention to like usher in? Because there's no way that they're going to be happy with Camel Toe.
No, she can't. I mean, if
No,
they
no.
want to make it appear like the candidate has a shot, then she cannot be the candidate.
Right.
But what they want to do though, is demoralize us.
Because it'll be called a coup if they just install her, right?
They're going to. What they're going to do is they're going to. He's going to step down.
But they knew that he was going to die.
So I was on Joe Rogan's podcast in 2022.
Yeah.
And I told a story that happened on our podcast called Broken Sim. A good friend of mine had just released his album, Jeff Hilliard, and he is a sober companion to people.
Mm-hmm.
And his friend was a high-end escort who did drugs with Hunter Biden, and she told him that Hunter Biden told her, even before the election, while they were campaigning, that they were going to get in Joe Biden and come up with a reason to throw him out and have Camel Toe in. That she said
hey, I'm stuck on high-end escort. What does that even mean?
that means she's a very hot chick that can charge a lot of money for pussy,
She's supposed to stay quiet.
right? But
there's no high-end and escort. That's not that they don't go together.
well, until you want to fucking ask her how much she's charging, then you're like, wow, that's a little high.
This is a woman of no value.
Okay,
I mean, honestly.
that's and I agree with that. But listen, if you really get into Watergate wasn't about spying. Watergate was all these politicians were banging these hookers and they were getting information from them.
But the Patriot Act was about spying. You believe that, right? I mean, that was brought upon to spy upon Americans.
100%.
Yeah, legally.
And I would tell you that the Kavanaugh trial,
the creation of TSA,
was not even about like the whole thing about him and he was a meanie to this chick in high school. She was a CIA agent. They did that so no one looked into Kavanaugh's past, in which he worked on Whitewater for the Clintons. He wrote the Patriot Act. He thinks president's above the law, and he doesn't believe in fucking having a not a wiretap, but to go into your house, a warrant. A warrant.
You know, you find it peculiarly interesting that I mean. I just noticed that your toenails are black.
So don't like me?
Well, I mean, what is that about?
You know what? One day I was getting my feet done with my little cousins, and they laughed, and so I get them black now.
I mean, I get a pedicure. I'm not. Listen, I get a pedicure.
Because people get pissed.
Yeah.
They get upset.
Yeah, believe me, we already got him on this.
Yeah,
really. I made a whole video about it.
I just happened to look down because my foot was touching a cord, and I'm like, oh, am I ripping his cord out of his head? And then I'm like, wait a second.
Everyone gets up. Why are your fucking toenails fucking black?
Just so you guys know, because I'm sure you can't see feet on the show, he's wearing Nike flip-flops and definitely emo black.
Nicely playing, no
golf.
chips.
No chips.
Hey, dog, you know what it is, bro? I go so hard so long, I need a moment to turn my head off, and I just sit down and they just get it done.
I mean, I do the same thing. I guess I just would never.
I just
but
love
hey, whatever you want.
I love to piss people off.
He loves chaos.
But the convenience or the
Jews made him do it.
The ironic timing of JFK's assassination
100%
in relation to when he said, "Yeah, Israel shouldn't have nukes." Right?
No, not just that. The APEC. Dude, if you
do you think that AIPAC should have to register as a foreign agent?
100%.
Do you think they should be declared enemy combatants?
I think they should be at the minimum a foreign lobbying group.
Yeah.
100%.
What about the ADL?
Well, a foreign lobbying group.
Yeah, I think enemy combatants.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
I think they're terrorists.
I think what they're doing is disgusting.
Yeah, it's treason.
And you have a ton of ammo when you look into that.
Yeah.
Like, why is this company that represents another country having a say in how our tech companies work?
Right.
And I think more and more people are waking up to that.
Yeah.
You know, we have two different styles of operating, and you have been way more successful than me. So in that aspect, and I respect that. I think that's a big part. Like, I'm not as focused as you are in a lot of ways, business wise and all that stuff. But for me, man, I like to blame specific people in terms of their actions. Like when we look at these people are obviously like Blinken, his dad, the shadiness, the guy who was in charge of 9/11 after 9/11. What's his name? What's his fucking name? Who sent all the dancing Israelis home? His father was a Michael Chertoff. Yeah, his father was a Talmud scholar. I mean, like these are real. Like I had a big discussion on the last episode about this thing.
Yeah,
about really having. This.
I think that a lot of your discussions you're going to find moving forward are going to probably center around this because it's impossible to ignore at this point, and that is because. The hubris is out there now.
Yes.
I mean, it's like the arrogance, the false idolatry of this fake country and this fake religion, and the way that it's celebrated and more importantly protected, and the way that it is sabotaging and infiltrating and destroying everything that it gets its hands on.
Now, let me ask you something. So, I have a friend of mine, El Dorado. He is at a very early age, got right after college. Became very Christian, and he would tell me he celebrates the. Can I ask you something, Stu? How are you hosting a thing on Twitter right now and sitting right here at the same time? Because right now there's something that says Peters is hosting. Let me. So he got super religious.
Because I'm very focused. You just said that.
Yeah, you are. You're a very focused man. So. You know, he went to college. I would hang out with him. I would always have to go through his pitch on Jesus. I've never had a problem with Jesus. I never had a problem with Christianity or religion. I always knew that the things that upset people about religion were the actions of men and not the actions of God.
I hate religion.
So I've always had that. Well, one day he invites me to like his church is having a big outdoor like festival, and a couple guys in the in the church are having a band. Having a band or having a show. So I go up there, and this is in the 90s, right? I'd say like late 90s, not like 99, but I'd say like 95, 96, right? And they're playing, dude, and they're singing about two towers falling. And that always registered with me. I go, dude, that's super interesting. And then the towers went down. I go, oh, fuck, man. I called my friend, like, dude, you guys predicted. He goes, yep. He's predicted a lot of things. And one of the things he predicted is that eventually the EU will step in and take control of what Israel's doing to Palestine. But the big thing that he has talked to me about is the war that will be coming. And this gets into something I brought up earlier about why I think Hitler was controlled opposition. And it gets into the war of the lost tribes of Israel versus the pagans. And that the lost tribes of Israel will be in the UK, England, Israel, and the United States versus the pagans, which will be led by him. By what El Dorado told me was Germany, and it's Etum. It's called. I believe it's in the Bible. Don't quote me on that. I'm just now learning it, but.
I mean, I can think of a lot of reasons why I disagree with that.
Okay.
Just militarily, who Germany is now, the depravity that happens there, neighboring Austria, what's happening with like during the pandemic with the way that, you know, like cops were kicking in doors and like literally pinning people down and inoculating them.
Wouldn't that be a great way to destroy that leadership of that pagan?
I mean,
here's the last thing I'll say.
But do they have the like
one thing? This is the only thing. Who just left the EU? Britain. Britain is no longer in the EU, which fits right into this prophecy, dude. And these guys nailed everything before that.
Britain, because I was wondering if it was like some superpower left the EU when you asked me that. So I thought this was like happening today.
But I think it gets into
Britain is not a military force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I do think they control the money system.
Yeah,
in terms of like Bank of England.
You know, in order to like conquer in a kinetic confrontation, you have to have weaponry and personnel and, you know, a presence and weaponry. I mean, you can't just, you know, I don't know how Britain. Did the police in Britain even carry guns right now? I mean, I think they wear these tall hats and they go ask you nicely to go to jail with them.
Well, I go, you know.
I mean, these are joke countries. These are losers. These
England, I don't see as a joke country. I think that they've It's like somewhat of a master plaster fucking relationship with us. You know, we're the big fucking retard, and they're the little guy in the back with a "go get him" type thing. You know, that you saw on Mad Max and Terror Dome. The Bank of England is very much in control of a lot of stuff, and
Yeah,
you know when you get into
I wouldn't disagree with that.
When you get into the Bible, I believe the person who owns the actual copyright to the Bible is the royal family. Like, you know, so I mean, you get into all these things. It's just, to me, it's just so much deeper. And like, this is why I go, it's spiritual. This is spiritual.
Hold on. Sorry. Somebody owns the copyright? There's no way that's.
Will you look that up? I see it all the time on Instagram that the person who owns the rights to a
specific translation.
The one that everyone follows, right? Which is the KS.
What King James version? Okay,
the King James version.
That's certainly possible.
The King James.
I would think it's too old, much too old. To
yeah, the King James.
I mean, dude, we're talking about royals here who like kind of do their own fucking thing whenever they want.
I don't know about that.
I'm willing to be wrong.
It turns out that the King James Bible isn't conventionally copyrighted. The work actually predates the concept of copyright by nearly a century. Copyright started with the Statute of Anne in 1710.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
so
I mean, that would be.
That's why I've heard, and I'm not. I have no problems with being told I'm fucking retarded and wrong on that. So
look at this. I just saw this on the screen. Nazi book burnings were awesome, and Adolf Hitler was a hero. I wonder if there's a way. Whose article is that?
This is.
I should sue these people because
we should say they're attributing that to you.
AngryWhiteMan.com.
Yes. So if it says
no, it's .org, bro. It's an official government.
If it says that I said Adolf Hitler was a hero, they're attributing that quote to me, right?
Yeah, I mean they have awesome in quotes and hero in quotes.
But never said. I did say that the Nazi book burnings were awesome, but I did not say that Hitler was a hero. Why do we sit back and, because what am I going to do? Sue these people and go through all this litigation and spend
in his house.
Hundreds of thousands
of
dollars
take a studio apartment,
litigate this guy.
You got to get a friend who's an attorney.
I'm not going to get any. I'm not going to get any blood from a rock. But I do like what they did with my graphic there.
Dude, you look badass.
Yeah,
it's a cool look. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, I love the flames behind me. I do. Yeah,
get chicks.
Well,
likes.
It was perfect. Yeah, more people like it than don't. I would imagine.
So funny because I had this bit about my pronouns being real nigga and. Everybody chopped it up and took it, and people made so much money off it.
I make money on it.
And I'm like, hey, dude, good luck on that, dog.
I'm going to go home and figure out ways to monetize SamTripoli.
Yeah,
you'll find a way.
This is like my new quest. I
got to find. They're all monetizing it better than you
find
are.
A way to I will say this. Here's what I will say. If anybody wants to question, look, we can disagree on a lot of things. We can disagree on everything. But I will say that I'm convicted in everything that I say, and I believe that you are too. And I say that to the extent that my network has not prospered financially since I started talking about these topics.
That's why, yeah. I mean,
I have lost a lot of advertising money. I have actually come out of my own personal pocket from what the network used to pay me, which I have not taken a paycheck, I believe, in probably like 11 months. And so what I have in my own personal accounts, I'm pouring back into the business to fund films like Occupied, Old World Order, to make payroll. We pay like 21 young Christian people to work for this company, the Stu Peters Network. I'm actually using my own personal money to build out a new studio facility right now, which is not inexpensive. And that's how much I believe in my calling. I am 100% convicted in my calling. I'm going to remain obedient. I'm doing what God asked me to do every day. And that is what's building this network. And it's not like people think that I've got millions of dollars to throw around. This network is operating in the red right now. We are losing money every single day because I'm keeping these people on the network. Plus, behind the scenes, there are producers that work on every one of these shows. I pay them all. There are filmmakers that are working. I have given away everything absolutely for free. Imagine if I'd charged $1 to watch Died Suddenly. The thing's been viewed 100 million times, like 35 million times on just Rumble alone. And this film saved lives. I would have 35 million bucks in the bank if you just went off Rumble. I'd be sitting on a beach somewhere not giving a fuck. But guess what? I do care. And I do care because of that right there. These people tell you, they inscribe it in stone, a population under 500,000. That would mean that we would have to kill 7.5 billion people on the face of the planet. These
with
people
you.
are psychopaths. They are after our kids. Why don't we believe them when they say we're coming for your kids? The police are protecting pedophiles who are rubbing their dicks in the faces of kids for the entire month of June.
I totally get you. Let me ask you something.
On the streets.
No, dude, I listen, I live in LA.
Yeah.
I've been ostracized by the local comedy scene because I am calling out what I think is the destruction of this country.
It's beautiful.
And I have old friends of mine who stay with me because they know who I am. The younger comics all hate me. They either don't know who I am because I'm shadow banned everywhere, or they despise me because of my honesty. So I paid a giant price here. I have 100%. So, and listen, you've done more than I'll ever do in my lifetime.
That's
the
not
numbers
true.
you get are like numbers I'll never even understand.
Don't
But
say that.
let me just say this.
Go ahead, but then I'm going to counter that. I want to push back on that a little bit.
Okay. What I want to say is this. What I do on this show, and we've had big moments on the show, little moments on the show. My biggest thing is like, what am I trying to do?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of my show? And my show from the start has always been something you could take to like a newbie who's just in kind of the shallow end of the pool of learning about, hey man, there might be more than I'm being told to. Where can I learn more? Hey dude, you should check out Tinfoil Hat. I picked Tinfoil Hat for a reason because I at the time, because I didn't know what I know now, I loved NWA. They took the N word and they're like, we're gonna own it. Little did I know they were a psyop and they were used to destroy the black community. But at the time, I loved that music, Eazy-E. I thought those guys were badass fighting the system. And they're like, they took the name and they just owned it. So I go, what is the most demonized term I can find? Tinfoil Hat. Looked up, didn't see any Tinfoil Hat podcast going. So I'm like, I'm going to call it Tinfoil Hat. The first time I had a guy on, I go, welcome Tinfoil Hat. He goes, what are you calling this? I go, Tinfoil Hat. He goes, you're fucking stupid. I go, I have a plan. and it ended up working because people now, when they search, they look for it. And again, this is not me telling you anything. But the reason I push on the word Jew.
Oh, God.
Okay? Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Are you talking about all Jews?
What I'm talking about.
Like, I mean, do you hate them all?
No, what I am talking about, just hear me out and then you could tee off on me. I'll take it. Is that I am trying to wake up people that maybe don't necessarily see the world the way we do. And I know when they hear certain terms, they're just going to run.
They're going to get turned off, yeah.
So now we found this word Zionist, okay? And now we could say it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, they're trying, but the average person could hear the word Zionist and not have a freak out moment on it.
And they go, what is that?
Yeah, and then they look into it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, dude. Like, you, again, I mean, you can pound on me right now for, like, that I'm not going to be where you are because you work at a brilliant level and you're really smart on how you do it. And I've always said that, like, you gotta go to your beliefs and go real hard. I have tried to create something that I can hand this to people, go, hey man, I know you're new to this. Here's this great thing, this thing.
Well, the reason why it's just been easy for me is because it's not me. You know, I'm being obedient. No one man can do this. No group of people, 21 people can do this. This is God 100%. It's God ordained. It's not easy. I'm on an island every day. I'm catching all the arrows. I'm taking all the blows. I'm catching all the bullets. I'm fighting for humanity. I'm doing what I think is what God is calling me to do, to fight for children and save their lives. Save them from, pedophiles trying to put a dick in their ass, save them from bioweapon injections, save them from an overtaking of their government, leading them to an imminent bloodbath. These are the things that I feel like I'm called to do. So really, is it easy? In the everyday walk of things, in the natural? No, not really, because you're losing money, you're losing connections with family members, you're losing marriages, you're watching relationships fall apart, you're spending more time on the road and doing things, to save millions of other kids than you are with your own kids. You're bringing your kids on the road with you just so that you can spend time with them.
And I appreciate
None of that is easy, of course. But here's the thing that is easy: being obedient and then not feeling the attacks, putting on the armor of God and watching the arrows glance off of you. And so when you say things, and what I said I wanted to push back against is when you say things like, well, you're doing this at a level that I never will, or you're more successful than I am, or whatever, that in different aspects, you could maybe look and say, well, in this way, yeah, you could measure success like this way and that way. But I think that what happens is when people watch, and you were talking about waking people up and talking to people who are just regular, everyday people. That's why Died Suddenly and the Stu Peters Network became so prolific in the first place, was because we actually platformed regular people. We had this giant platform, and we brought people who were injured by these things, whose aunts or uncles were killed, people who died suddenly, their relatives came on. We platformed regular people. That's why they called me the People's Bullhorn for a long time. And so what I would encourage everybody to understand is that didn't come from, like all of a sudden, boom, I had this platform.
No, nobody said that.
That came from, like, I just started speaking. And I started speaking at a granular level. I was going live on Facebook, believe it or not, to an audience of 7 people. And all of a sudden it grew. All glory to God. But what that told me, and what it still tells me, and the most humbling thing about all this, aside from your digital footprint or how many followers you have or how many views you get on your podcast or how many people follow you on Instagram, the biggest footprint that you have is your physical footprint. And when you know that you can go talk to people like Alejandro Mayorkas at the Jamba Juice, and you can have a conversation with a Jew, or whatever, whatever it is. Or, you go talk to the boomer whose pastor told her the most loving thing you can do is go get your next booster.
Right.
Or the Gen X guy who heard that the best thing that you can do to save humanity is to wear a mask and stay 6 feet apart and watch out for that bird flu because it's coming right before the 2024 election.
Try, bro.
These are the people. I think your physical footprint, if you know the things that you're talking about and that I'm talking about, if you know, you know. And so if you know and you're not obedient in your calling to go start talking to the people physically next to you, then there's no way that any of the rest of this can become possible.
Yeah, I agree. And all I was trying to say is that what I try to do is make it the most easily digestible for people, because like you and I can have this conversation, and because we're going to talk tomorrow on your show if you still want to have me on, even though my toenails are painted.
Just wear shoes. Just wear shoes. That's gonna be fine.
Hibbler, bring some nail polish remover.
I'll wear sneakers for you, buddy. I'll wear sneakers for you.
Please.
It's like, for me, it's like, I just want to reach people, and I know there's just certain ways that we're just going to turn people off. And again, I'm not telling anybody how to do it. I just want you to know where I'm coming from and why I'm trying to reach as many people to wake them up, because that's how you win. Is like they're losing. They're so fucked right now that even if another 9/11 situation happened, no one would believe that.
I would say that I'm probably losing more followers every day than I'm gaining. Because of the way I'm turning them off.
Yeah. But I think you're so passionate, and like, who the fuck am I? But I just think that this is the only thing I do is like, I think there's a way to get it going. Like, people always want me to talk about Europa, and I get it. But every time I hear the Jew, it's just, I go, we're not going to reach anybody with this.
You're starting to sound like Alex Jones.
No.
What do you want to do? Just sit here and Jew.
Bro, I will light Jews up. I have no problem with it. But what I'm trying to say is that I feel like we have to try to reach more and more people. That's the only way we win. And there's just things that are going to turn them.
You win when you are on the side of truth. You win when you're on an island. I was the only guy, the first guy that said, hey, this is a bioweapon.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
People looked at me. I was the guy that came out with Karen Kingston, who revealed La Quinta Columna's findings that there was graphene oxide in this thing. Everybody looked at me like, you're fucking nuts.
People.
Remdesivir.
Yeah.
Self-assembling nanoparticles. Yes.
Stu,
all of that.
I've known you forever.
And people were like, you're fucking crazy.
I get it,
And then, boom, guess what? Not only am I right, but I'm right to the extent where YouTube had to give me my channel back. I'm back on YouTube.
Well, I love that, Stu.
Stu,
listen to me.
I don't mind being out there. I don't.
But listen,
when
man,
you know, Sam.
I get it. And listen, you're a grown ass man. You're fucking shredded. Okay, I'm not here to
and getting more
educate, like tell you how to live your life.
Yeah,
I say that you've done great things, meaning that I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. But like, if we're losing friends and we're losing family and we're losing followers, and like, what is the point of saving the world if we're going to be miserable in it? Well, that's my whole opinion.
Because that is what we were promised. And when I say that I am a follower and a believer of Jesus Christ,
I am too.
That means that we know we're going to be the most persecuted. I mean, what did he tell David? God told David, nope, You're not going to get married. You're not going to have a woman. You're going to be on your own. You're going to go through this war. And then not only that, but you're going to fight this guy called Goliath, right? I mean, your life is going to suck, dude. You're going to go through the biggest battles ever if you remain faithful, and I promise you'll have the greatest reward.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So
listen,
that's
again,
what it is.
I'm not here to tell you how to do anything. I'm just saying.
Do I wish sometimes I didn't? Yeah, of course.
I'm just.
It'd be a lot easier.
Like, we could figure out ways.
It'd be a lot easier to go sell some like CBD or something. I mean, there's a lot of things that make a lot of money out there. I mean, I can go. Hey, I mean, I think I'd be a really good hitman.
Well,
I was,
let me hide these shoes right now. Let me hide my feet right now, dude.
I can identify you, no problem.
I'm with you, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Like that, I just want you to know how I operate. Okay.
So let's talk about a couple of other things.
Anything,
but whatever you want to talk about before we go, because I mean, we have pounded through some of the things that
I love it, dude. Listen, man. I don't care who gets mad, and you know. I don't think anyone will. But if anyone did, I go, dude, this is a show where we had the conversations that adults have. Yeah. Well, this is why we're going to do it. We have to have these conversations because we're never going to be able to change anything if we don't have conversations. My whole opinion is a little sugar helps the medicine go down. That's all I'm trying to say.
That makes it. We should say, though, that's not. That sounds almost cynical.
It sounds
the
like,
only reason we're saying it that way is so that we can get people in the door, and that's not the only. I mean, you don't actually think all Jews. That's not the only reason you're not saying all Jews are.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't.
You know what that sounds like?
Listen, I am very much honest that like there are people. If there are a Jew doing something, I think we should be able to call them out, and it's not fucking anti-Semitic to do it. That's my opinion. I've stated here on the show, and I'll state it one more time. I don't think all Jews are in on it. And that's why so many Jews in the camps died, because they were sacrificed to this fucking bigger thing. That's my honest opinion. And like, I just feel like you wouldn't even be here, guys, right now if it wasn't for Mitzi Shore saving my fucking life. You know, you just wouldn't even. We wouldn't be here in this area doing this thing if Mitzi Shore hadn't gave me a shot when everybody else told me to go fuck myself. And my sponsor, I'm sober because that guy, he's Jew. Like that's it. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's my bit right now about everybody's retarded. Like every group is a bunch of good people, and in it is a fucking pack of retards that fuck it up for everybody that the rest of the people have to defend. And I'm just like. We can never change anything if we can't call out the people, right? But my whole thing is if you just demonize an entire group of people, it's like when Josh Denny, who I love, is one of my very good friends, is like wanting to fucking just get rid of all Muslims. I'm like, dude, that's crazy talk to me. That's just crazy. Because I watch people do that with white people. White people are all racist. White people are all scumbags. White people are the fucking white supremacy.
Dear white people.
You know, all that shit. I go, dude, I know so many broke fucking white people that I would love to get some privilege. I would love to get some white privilege. I am a father. I would love to get patriarchal fucking privilege. I get none of it. I just have to I have to fucking grind all fucking day.
Me too. Yep. I've worked for every dime that I've ever earned.
Yeah.
And it shows. I wasn't handed a silver spoon. I never had rich parents. I didn't grow up in a rich neighborhood. When I was 18 years old, guess where I moved? Right here to LA. When I got here, I came on a Greyhound bus. When I got here, I had $140 in my pocket. That paid for like 1.5 nights room stay in the worst fucking neighborhood that you could possibly imagine. I ended up the next day getting a job on Ventura Boulevard at a place called Charlie G's. It's not there anymore. It was owned by a guy called Jack Mandato. I think he's dead. He was Sicilian mafia. I was a waiter. And so thank God, because the first day that I worked, they let me wait tables and I earned cash so I could pay for my room. And literally I survived out here for 3 years. I ended up getting signed to a major label record deal. I was a rapper. You can look me up.
What?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was. I got signed to a major label. I toured with some big people. I performed, remember, Coconut Teasers.
What was your stage name?
Dude, I used to love Coconut Teasers. I had my first show in LA was at Coconut.
What was your stage name? What was your stage name?
Focus, F-O-K-I-S-S. If you go to YouTube and put that in, you'll see a song.
Let's go,
you'll
bro.
See a song called I Never Made It right there at the top. That was I Never Made It, by the way. And here's the thing. Okay, so the press always likes to say, well, Stu Peters, failed rapper. No, not failed rapper.
Hey, that's a lot of views.
Yeah,
That's like
it's
a
not
quarter
bad.
mil.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just on my channel. That was posted like way after the fact.
Okay.
And that's just that's what I put up there. The label never put it out because so the way that a record label works for those for those in the listening audience or viewing audience that don't understand, you get signed to a deal, you get something called recoupable money, right? So they give you this budget. You could buy a house with it, you could buy cars with it, you could buy diamonds with it, you can do whatever you want with it. But the fact is, signing bonus, all of that, it belongs to the record label. And in exchange for these recoupable funds, you owe the Jewish-owned record label a certain amount of singles or records or albums, and you don't get off of
Stu,
your
you have
of
an
your
age,
deal,
buddy.
Yeah,
you look great.
Thanks, but you don't get you don't get anything until, and you're the last person to get paid. By the way, so record sales, you don't make dick, you don't make shit off of tour money. Really, it's merchandising is really all you can make, and so all the signing bonuses and everything else that doesn't belong to you. Anyways, when I found out how demonic the major label record industry was, and when I found out, how oppressed really I was, and the message was controlled, everything was controlled, I decided, fuck this, fuck you, I'm out of here. Well, I owed them one more single, and so this was the single that I gave them. It's called I Never Made It, which is a big fuck you to the record industry, saying I never made it, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I don't want to make it in the way that you want to give it to me. And in the music video here, the fat guy at the table, rest his soul, his name is Rick Briggs. Rick Briggs is actually a bail bondsman from Minnesota, who I asked to play the part in this music video, and he's playing the part of a major label record executive who's pissed off that I won't write about what they want me to write about.
Labels, investors, promoters, the future looks real bright for Focus. We're planning on shows in the tropics. I'm talking Grammys and Oscars. Halftime for football and in the ring with them boxers. They're gonna know the name Stuart Peters. From the grassroots music to influence on big screens and movie theaters. I'm finally gonna live that dream. It's worth the thin times I went through to make a difference in these little kids' lives. And then the shock hit when I opened my eyes. Now I know this whole episode I've been hypnotized. The extinguisher's been deployed. The fire inside of me is slowly burning out. Now I realize that I'm a
failure. Never made it. My family devastated. A lifetime just wasted. Bitterness has been tasted because I never made it.
Look at organically the cops just like pulling up and shaking down a black dude in the alley. That was kind of it's like,
I thought you paid for that. I was like, real production.
This is a good verse right here. That's where I call him out.
You woulda. It's an old saying. I ain't saying anything. I'm just saying. Y'all reading to me and say, oh, Stewie, he's just playing. Is that right? Cause I'm your typical entertainer chasing a fast life. Not remembering anything that happened just last night. And all I wanna do is fuck bitches and just get trashed, right? The difference between us is I did that all in a past life.
And I ain't gonna write about it.
Record labels tell me it's all about cash. I don't see it. Maybe my sight is clouded. And I ain't arguing. Look, I ain't gonna fight about
your industry's like sex with no condom, and I am sliding out it.
Yeah, I guess that makes me a tax break. But I can stomach it, cause I can still sit here with my back straight in your office noticing all of your golden plaques great. But you'll never have what I have. And I would rather be a
yeah, so
it's good.
I would rather be a failure.
Oh, I
that
think
never
you're
made
doing
it.
Great, buddy. I think you crushed it.
It's it's funny because all of these times and you look back at what you did in your past. So I was obviously a rapper, and I was signed to the record label industry and different record labels, and went on tour with some people. I did shows with like Redman and Method Man, Ja Rule, DMX, Ludacris. Did records with people like One Republic and Jay-Z, Carrie Hilson, Beyonce, big names, and been in a lot of places with that. And I don't regret 1 second of it. And then from there, I went on to be a bounty hunter. And so for over a decade,
yes, dude. You got all the great fucking occupations,
right?
bro.
Arrested thousands of people. We did no misdemeanor warrants. I wasn't chasing you down on your DUI ticket. These were felony crimes against persons, gangs, guns, drugs, rape, murder, molestation, child rape, all that.
All things that used to be illegal. Now they just let you out of jail for. Did you see this guy? This guy just did it. He robbed someone at gunpoint of their watch.
Yeah.
And then they gave him no jail time, and he just murdered a tourist down at the beach.
Yeah. But I think all of that was training for where I'm at now, because you learn how to use your words and your voice. You learn how to present yourself in such a manner that's going to be received by a large audience. Okay, so that's this. then you learn to investigate criminals and not believe an official narrative and not, just blindly trust people, and to go into all of the places where everybody tells you nobody's hiding, and then look in there and pull back the veil and like, oh, there's where you're hiding.
Yeah.
And so all of these years, I think of all of this has just been training to where I'm at right now, because now I'm using my voice and I'm investigating criminals. It's just that the criminals wear kind of a different uniform now than they did then.
No, I'm with you, man. I think I think if we're going to save ourselves, we have to be honest and have honest conversations, and we can't have the emotion of it. And so I think you're doing the Lord's work. Again, we have different ways of approaching it and styles.
No doubt. Yeah.
And that's okay. And that's just life. And
before we get out of here, can I ask people like where to go find me and all that good stuff?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, give all your shit.
Okay, so StuPeters.com. Right there, that's the Old World Order documentary. When I say that we live under the empire of lies, which I say oftentimes on my show, if you watch Old World Order, I mean, this stuff goes way, way, way back. I mean, if I told you that we were living, atop the ashes of a civilization that was there long before us with technology that's more advanced than what we recognize now. Yeah, I mean, but it's even different than that, really. You just have to go watch Old World Order. It's exclusively streaming at StuPeters.com. It's free as all of my documentaries. If you haven't seen any of them, from these little ones, which we exposed, CPS is the largest child trafficking organization in the entire world. Watch the Water, which talks about the origins of COVID-19. Obviously, the world famous Died Suddenly. Final Days, which was kind of a continuation of Watch the Water. And then, of course, Occupied, which is going to completely change the world, blow the narrative, totally open. But StuPeters.com. On Twitter, I'm at Real Stu Peters. On Rumble, the Stu Peters Network. And I'm on YouTube. So go give me a follow on YouTube.
I love it.
Until that's not gone. So, go follow us in all the places and show us some love, because, we're really doing great work. I mean, we have a great team. I'm really proud of this team, and we're going for it. We're at war. I really believe that. It's a war of good versus evil. We know what side we're on, so if you're on that side, come give us a follow, show us some love.
Love it, dude. That was a great episode. Guys, let's break it down. All right, guys, let's get into it. What do you guys think?
Hot.
These are the episodes that you tune into. This is what it's about. We thank Stu for coming on, and I enjoy these conversations.
Me too.
And it takes like a guy like him to be able to have a conversation with a guy like me, and nobody loses their head.
A Jewish cuck like you? Yeah.
I'll take that, dude. I'll take it. Again, you know what I'm saying? You know my theory is like, dude, we could talk about Zionists. You could talk about somebody who's Jewish pulling some shit. I think, again, my whole view is that everybody should be treated like white people on Twitter in 2018. And if you pull some shit, you should get called out. And if you're willing to go white privilege, white this, white that, then you should be able to call out Jews too. But and I just don't want to dwell on it because we did a whole episode on it. I just refuse to condemn everybody. Like, everybody's judged on individual basis. We know there's a group of people at the highest levels, at these elites, and that at everything, it usually becomes a class war, in my humble opinion, on almost everything. So I'm very happy and blessed that Stu came on. I feel like, we really connected, and and I look forward to doing his show. And I had a great conversation. I love the passion. I love it. But at the end of the day, I have my opinion. He has his opinion, and that's cool. And I know, and this is what I thought about, like Adam Green way back in the day. And I feel like Stu, even though Stu doesn't like Adam Green, but
boy, does he not like him.
But I still feel like at the core, you have to understand that they care. They care.
I'll take somebody like that over.
I will.
Lukewarm asshole.
I'll take a Stu Peter every day over somebody who's just falling for all the psyops all the time, and does and loses their mind if you say any word that is a taboo word and all that. That's my opinion. And I'll stick with it. And I'll have Stu on anytime. It just got rolling, because we were both talking after, we would love to talk that we don't believe in viruses. That would have been a great conversation.
You guys got right into it, and it just stayed
He's like,
there.
I didn't want to talk about it. Here we go. And then bang, we're in it.
Yeah.
But I love it. I like I mean, like, I've been getting in a lot of fights on Twitter with the Hitler dick riders, and they can't answer certain things that make no sense. And and I didn't want to do that either, but I felt it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And again, I will still say, and I'm sure that Stu left here still believing in his side, and I believe my side, that at the highest levels, it's all the occult. Fallen angels worship.
Well, and it was interesting because he kind of agreed to that also, but then kind of kept coming back to that, the other part, which is,
and that's okay, man. But I like if someone goes to Stu, a good guy. I go, Stu's a great guy. He's passionate.
Yeah, he's obviously a great guy.
Maybe, and like it's my feeling on like why, let's say a Dave Smith gets invited everywhere, and maybe Sam, or even a Kurt Metzger, who, and I, for the record, love both of them. I think they're both doing the Lord's work. So that this is an encouragement, not a. They get they're invited everywhere, and Sammy is not, because I think Sammy, I'm talking about myself in third person, is very much blunt force trauma, and that's kind of what I was trying to say. Is
they're playing a different game.
Yeah, they're just better at having discussions on the situation.
I wouldn't say better. I would just say that they are playing the game where you're not really interested in playing, which is coding everything and sugar. Really, like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like I think if you got down to the
I want everyone to know that we're pro them. We're pro them. We love what they're doing. This is no.
Dude, Dave Smith. I love as a libertarian. I'm not kidding. I
think he's doing the Lord's work. But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what I wanted to convey to Stu, who doesn't need. I mean, like afterwards, Stu's great. He has great stories, and it was a fun conversation.
Best handshake I've ever had.
Very physical handshake. Very guy works out. You could tell he's a white rapper.
Yes, he's got grip
Stu
strength for
definitely
days.
has. I used to be a wigger vibe, right back in the day.
No, he dropped. He said he'll say the N-word.
Yeah, he's not afraid to do
he does got a little bubble.
Which I'm okay with, like getting rid of that taboo too. Let's kill that word. The surest way you want to kill the M-word, you want it to go away. Let white guys say it. It will. Nobody will say it after that.
Can you imagine if just white people just started using the N-word?
Yeah, I can't imagine the guy who bought the domain for the white N-word.
Who that guy?
Yeah, who's that guy?
He bet he's a genius. Go
to whitenigga.com and find my dates. Next week, this weekend, I'm at the Kansas City. I'm at the Comedy Club, one of my favorite comedy clubs out there. The 18th through the 20th, and then it's almost locked in. The Comedy Chaos on the 23rd. It is a great lineup, and I love you all very much. And yeah, that's about it, man. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and go watch my New Jersey vlog with me, Sam Tripoli, and Eddie Bravo and Lisa.
Yeah, and guys, check out all the affiliates.
Yes, please.
Check out all the affiliates, okay? Check out all the affiliates. They're fire, dude.
All of them.
Buy gold and silver, dude, at Wise Wolf, SamTripoli.gold, tinfoil hat. Tinfoil is the promo code. Rife Technologies, AquaCure Hydrogen Brown Gas. That's how we get it, dog. And then Harley Ray for your candles and your crystals. We love them very much. Chemical Free Body, took it today. I take his energy drink every day. And we also get into Joel Staley. That's a great, if you want to get in shape, Joel's has a great program to help you do that. Then finally, I'm fixing the link on EMF Rocks. Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
And then again, $8 gets you all the bonus. All I'm dude, dangerous. Today's episode could have been dangerous as well, but It is what it is.
At Johnny Woodard on Twitter, thank you.
Enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
So Johnny, it's this new thing. Have you heard this new thing? And this is the end of my rant. Have you heard the new thing, Johnny? Pay pigs? Have you heard about pay pigs?
Yeah, I know about pay pigs. Yeah, I've heard that phrase. It's like financial domination, right?
Well, it's basically like hey, let's just get rid of me having to bone these old guys who we call sugar daddies. Yeah. Let's just get rid of that, and you just give me the money.
Yeah,
for nothing.
Findom, they call it.
Findom, yeah. It's like dude, pay pig.
I just can't imagine being a man who gets off on that. Like, that's the worst. Losing money is like the worst thing I can think of.
Dude, the pay pig and the autistic pedophile have the same kind of place on the spectrum. They got to have the same social interaction, social abilities that they. But why a pig? At least with a sugar daddy, there's some sort of authority. A daddy works hard. Daddy pays for everything. You show daddy love by giving daddy love, right? A pay pig, It's not even a pay bear. It's not even a pay jaguar or a pay lion. Yeah. Something that a little respect. Since I'm just, dude, you listen to these chicks. So yeah, we went to this hotel. The pay pig paid for everything, and it's just like. Yeah. You don't understand the world of hurt that is coming to you because your pussy is so powerful right now, but that sun will dim. Oh. And you will never get away from your pig past of what you did.
Your pig past.
Like, it's crazy, right? I mean, like, just imagine, like, how narcissistic and psychopath you have to be to take somebody's money for nothing. And just go out and spend it ridiculous. And to think somehow this is some kind of like feminist movement. It's and the reason I get so upset about it is because you're setting yourself up for your 30s to be absolutely miserable. Because nobody's gonna want to be with the chick who treated men like pay pigs. And how are you supposed to switch your fucking your gear into pay pigs to I love this man, I want to be in a yin-yang relationship. You're never gonna do it. And again, now we get that these chicks who are meant to be with super alphas are now just gonna get with gutter dick.
Settling, yeah.
Not settling.
No, they'll end up settling. They'll end up having to settle.
Well, they'll have no more better options.
So I mean, yeah. Tell me, do you think there are more people who are genuinely excited about Kamala Harris running or female pay pigs? You'll never hear about a female pay pig ever. There's not one woman on this planet who will pay for a guy to have a lifestyle and get 100%, nothing out of it.
100%,
never.
100%.
Something about guys that we'll just, some of us.
Well, because we think what we think is if we take good care of them, it fits into our provide, like the three P's: provide, procreate, protect. Yeah. Like we like to provide, and we think if we provide you, because this relationship shit is brand new. It was either you were a married wife or you were a low-rung street brothel hooker.
Yeah, a wench.
A wench, which is my whole thing. Like, I don't know why women hate cunts. You should hate the word wench. Wench is like cunt times 1,000. A cunt is that you're in a bad mood. A wench is a lifestyle. All right, Johnny, do your
word.
thing.
Cunt is a great word.
Oh, that went too long, that rant.
Pay pig. That's
pay pig. Pay pigs, dude. That's so crazy to me that people think that that's acceptable. Suck a dick.
Yeah, no, you're right though. These are people that are all in for a rude awakening.
It's just sad because they're so beautiful. They're just so beautiful.
It's the ultimate social credit.
And they could have a beautiful life of happiness. Like it just goes down to this operation, this Agenda 25 that's so obvious a psyop.
I think that's fake. Yeah,
it's 100. It's just there to make, and it could even be done by operatives on the right to fuel the left into the divide. Maybe, right? Yeah. So, and it's just like make people bring back the nuclear family, have women have children, and they act like it is prison, and they don't talk to the childless woman in her 40s that the phone stops ringing for everybody.
Yeah, who has to go back to work or I mean, like take two jobs.
Listen to old people talk, ladies. I want you to listen to old people talk. I mean, we're talking like 80-year-olds, and you ask them what's their biggest regret. They work too much, and you think that is like the highest nirvana of having a good job. It's misery. It's why men die early, because we have to work at a soulless job. And it's just ridiculous. Okay, Johnny, do your stuff.
All right, speaking of dumb takes, Matt Walsh, who's just become a master of bad takes, and he's a guy I had some respect for.
I used to like him, and now it's just clickbait stupid.
Here's what he tweeted this week. George Carlin is easily the most overrated stand-up comedian of all time. He never really challenged mainstream culture.
What are you talking
about? Just packaged a bunch of pretty standard liberal rants and complaints with swear words so people would think he was edgy. Most of his later stuff, in particular, is cringe as hell. So there's that word cringe.
Yeah,
which I hate.
and Matt Walsh is part of this.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.